What can you do with cultural journalism? One, you can tell about stories about people that are reflecting about the society, because art is a reflection on society, on what goes on daily life, but also on crisis. And artists, whether they do films or do music or are actors or script players, whatever they are reflecting on society. So if you communicate through cultural journalism, art, you are reflecting on society. That's an advantage. That's number one. What can you do with cultural journalism? Number two, you can actually, as a journalist, lean on to the creative part of art, whether it's film or music or literature, a book. You can use the storytelling from the art in your journalism, and by that you can tell a story that is interesting, combined with the portrait of the artist or the reportage from whatever goes on behind scenes. So you are kind of borrowing the storytelling part from art. That makes cultural journalism, for me at least, more interesting to work with. What can you do with cultural journalism? Number three, you can actually tell stories that are open for the receiver, the listener, the viewer, the reader, for perception, his or her own perception of reality. It's not attitudes, it's not politicians saying this or that. Art is an open discipline, open for perception, open for discussion. It's more constructive in its way when you talk about journalism, because you're actually giving the receiver a possibility of getting her own opinion on what goes on and how you could perceive it. What can you do with cultural journalism? Number four, all art has to do with a personal motivation, a personal story. An artist, a screenplay, a writer, a musician that wants to address something or has an inspiration that he or she wants to communicate. But who's the person behind that? That is what cultural journalism can focus on and actually portray the artists. So you understand or maybe get affected or get related to the art in a new or another way than you normally would do. So that is cultural journalism number four. What can you do with cultural journalism number five? A lot of news is about the elite, about what happens in the political elite, about the economical elite, news, breaking news, disasters. Culture is also about disasters, also about the elite, but also about the rest of the people, the 99% of what goes on in society. And culture could be a gateway to get to know what happens in the society, apart from what happens in the elite. That is what cultural journalism can communicate through art.